So, Tanya, tell me a little bit about what you do. I know you write, you have an amazing career. I want to hear all about it.
Well, my background is actually commerce. I'm an accountant by trade,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, so yes, doing accounts and consultancy for people was my background. And then in my mid 30s, I went through the grief of infertility, not being able to have children. And there were so many other things in my life going on, people who were getting sick and passing away, even with cancer. And so, in order to be able to learn how to deal with this grief, I went and studied to be a therapist. And during that time, I really understood and was able to work through my grief of the infertility and help others in a big way. A little did I know that that was like a prerequisite for me for my husband being diagnosed with cancer a few years later. And then he passed away. And so that was what led me to really, well, firstly, write my first books and also to have this desire to contribute back to mankind in some way. And so it was through my writing and it was through coaching people and speaking and doing all sorts of things, life coaching around helping people move forward after adversity. So, yeah, that's why, look, it's not the best way to get into something, but quite often it's through adversity that you really do find your calling.
That's incredible. And first, I want to say I'm very, very sorry for your loss. That had to be very difficult. I can't even begin to imagine. But also, what were some of the biggest challenges about becoming a therapist and getting to where you are today?
One of the biggest challenges.
Yes.
Well, knowing that you can only do so much for people, truthfully, sometimes some people just don't want to get well, and they don't realize they don't want to get well. And you've got to accept that you can't fix everyone. You can do your best. And what I found really helped was to just keep living by example anyway. So no matter how much you coached with someone, you keep showing up and showing them that there is life beyond grief, there is life beyond pain and suffering. And soon someone sees that and then they go, actually, I want that too. But I won't deny it is challenging when you see the potential in someone and they can't see it themselves.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I mean, I see
Yeah.
it all the time. I mean, I work in a gym and I also completely understand. It's like, I want to see you to see how great you are. Why can't you see what I see? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It takes sometimes it takes that pain to really make people go, I can't stay in this pain anymore. But then again, sometimes for some individuals, they may look at you or someone else and go, I want that. And that's what makes them really strive.
And you also wrote a book. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I've written 4 books actually.
Four
So
now. Okay. Yes.
yeah. So we're talking about the latest one, From
Yes.
Grief
Yes.
to Greatness. Yes, absolutely. Well, From Grief to Greatness, and the subtitle is The Art of Mastering Resilience or Overcoming Adversity. And that one is a lot about life beyond grief, finding your own greatness. So often we want to know, how do I get out of the grief and how do I stop feeling this way? How do I move through this grief? But then there is life beyond the grief. And what is often beyond the grief is your own greatness. And this book, that's why I've called it From Grief to Greatness. And some people go, oh, but that feels too self-centered for me to feel that I can be great. But of course we can. We can all be great. There's greatness in all of us. We just don't allow ourselves to do that or get there. So in this book, I talk a lot about how to be physically and emotionally, spiritually, and in relationships and professionally great, to move beyond adversity and really see that greatness, feel it and touch it and experience it.
And what is the biggest thing, other than finding your greatness, of course, what is the biggest thing you want everybody to learn from your book?
Oh, there is life beyond suffering. There is a choice. We have a choice on whether we want to stay in a place of sadness and suffering and being stuck, or no, I'm going to move forward. I don't know what that looks like yet, but I'm going to enjoy the process of moving forward. And I'm going to allow myself to be emotionally well, physically well. And if there is a greater purpose for me in life, then I'm going to attain it. Because once you've been through adversity, there's a part of you that feels, I've got to do something with this. I've got to contribute back to mankind again. And so I teach people how to find that spark in them, that vision that they've got for themselves in order to be able to give back to mankind and contribute to other people. Because we can't waste our lessons. We can't waste our pain and suffering. So I say, turn the suffering into something great.
And what would you recommend is the first step somebody takes to get there?
Decide.
Just decide,
Yeah.
okay.
Make that decision. Make the decision. And even if you are in a big pile of pain and tears, make the decision. I don't want to stay this way. And maybe for the rest of today, I'm going to allow myself to wipe my tears and enjoy the rest of my day. I don't know what tomorrow's going to be like, what I'm going to wake up like tomorrow. I may be crying again, but tomorrow I can make the decision that I'm going to get up and move. So make the decision. And this applies to everything. You know, whether you've got a career goal, whether you've got a health goal, make the decision and then map out the steps that you need to take, and take baby steps if that's all you can. But unless you've decided that from this day forward, everything's going to be different, chances are you could stay stuck.
And have you ever thought about maybe going on tour or becoming another motivational speaker on Zoom or something? Because you have so much knowledge inside you that I think you could help so many people.
Of course, absolutely. And once this book is out overseas already, I'm waiting for my shipment to arrive actually here in New Zealand. But of course, I'm going to do some webinars and absolutely speak on this topic, because all of us suffer at some stage, and it's just in varying degrees. And the message to go out there and be great, I'd love to spread that as much as I possibly could.
And what's next for you now that this book is published and it's overseas? It's going to be in New Zealand. It's going to be all over the world. What's next for you?
Well, there's always another book, right?
Yes,
and
of course.
So I do a lot of journaling, and one day I will get another book out, because this last few years has been quite difficult for everyone in the world, hasn't it? We've all gone through major change and transition. So I've lost both of my parents in the last 18 months.
I'm so
and
sorry.
That was tough. Yeah, especially when you're separated from them. And so there's another book there on that journey, because I know so many people have suffered so much these last few years and being isolated and separated. And so I definitely have another book there. So yes, most definitely carrying on with the speaking and the coaching and encouraging people to be great.
And do you what about children that are suffering from this? How would you help them as opposed to helping adults? Because I know a lot of children, they have anxiety, especially like you said, with the way the world is going now. What's the best way to help a child who is suffering to make that decision? Because sometimes they're a little too young. They may not really understand what's going on.
Yeah. You know, I always believe that the little ones need direction, but they also need to be heard. As human beings, they say we've got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And it's to give someone your time to listen to them is the most valuable gift. And little ones, they are crying out for help, even if it's coming out in bad behavior or anything that you think is unusual the way they're behaving. It's a cry for help. So show them the love, give them the love and the connection. Love will heal everything. And sometimes, though, they need a bit of direction as well. So sometimes some people say, oh, let them decide, give them free rein. But maybe what they are looking for is a bit of guidance and direction. And you're so right. The young ones of today are suffering from so much in the way of and it's so young as well, anxiety, depression, body dysmorphia, especially in young girls. It's just crazy out there. They need to be shown and instill that they are loved and that they are lovable and that they are enough for all of us, but yeah, especially for the little ones.
Absolutely. My dog agrees too. She's in the background and she says, good job. She loves you.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And where can we follow you on social media so we can continue to follow your amazing career, your next book, and all your knowledge and intelligence?
Oh, well, look, I'm everywhere on social media. So I've got a website, tanyaunkovich.com. You might need to type that out because it's a lot of people don't know how to spell that. But on my website, I've got a lot of resources for people. Also on a YouTube channel, Tanya Unkovich again. I've got lots of past radio interviews and I do a lot of short snippet interviews for people and just little bits of videos here and there. My TikTok channel is quite specific because I work a lot with people with eating issues, you see. So that's a little bit of an area that I specialize in. So my TikTok channel again, and of course, LinkedIn, I give a lot of advice there for executives on how to be resilient. So if you Google me, you'll find me everywhere.
That is beautiful. Well, Tanya, it was amazing to speak with you. You're an incredible woman, and I can't wait to talk again soon.
You bet. Lovely to speak with you.
Likewise. We'll talk soon. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.